Hi, my name is Shari Wilson, and today I'll be teaching you all about sickle cell disease. We will go over what sickle cell disease is, how you get sickle cell disease, the treatment for sickle cell disease, and how the disease affects the person that has the disease and their family. So, sickle cell disease is a genetic disorder in the red blood cells. What happens is you have a parent with trait, two parents with trait, and you will produce a child with sickle cell disease. In my life, we have my youngest brother that has sickle cell disease. My parents did not know that they had trait at all before he was born. My mom had asked my dad's mom if he had the trait, and she told her no. And so then child number 4 comes, and he has sickle cell disease. So the first couple of months were very different being a sibling of a child with sickle cell disease. We didn't really understand what it was, why my brother had to take medicine in the morning and in the afternoon, different little things that happen along the way. We had to adjust our ways of living because we could no longer go swimming in non-heated pools or go bike riding, any extraneous activity in the heat, or even fly on a plane because of the high altitude levels. We couldn't do those things anymore because he had sickle cell disease. If we did, they would could cause his cells to sickle and cause him pain in whatever limb or place the cells were sickling in. Sickle cell disease is most common in African American, people of African American descent, Mediterranean, Middle East, and the Caribbean. But it is found in all different ethnic groups. The treatments for sickle cell disease include folic acid, which produces more red blood cells because the blood cells in sickle cell disease patients die faster. It also includes taking an antibiotic every day, which was what my brother was taking in the morning and in the afternoon to help prevent infection. So they have to take that every morning and every day. According to the New York Times website, there are 100,000 people in America living with sickle cell disease. You can't tell if a person has sickle cell disease just by looking at them. It's not something that you can get just by touching somebody or drinking off of their cup. It's genetic, so it's all in the blood. It has to do with the parents having sickle cell disease. So you wouldn't know if I had sickle cell disease or not. That's something that they would have to tell you. Okay. According to the National Heart and Lung Association, sickle cell anemia is the most common type of sickle cell disease. Normally, red blood cells are soft like a donut, they're round, and they're squishy. Whenever the cells sickle, they become crescent-shaped, kind of like the moon, and they block the ways that the blood can get through the blood vessels, and that's what causes the pain. Which taking the antibiotics would help with that as well. Okay, on the newborn screening website, I found a lot of information concerning sickle cell disease, and one was this diagram. So I drew it out, but you have to have two parents with trait. So if you notice, this side is dark and this side is light. That represents the non-working gene in the parents that have sickle cell trait. Whenever you have sickle cell trait, you do not have the disease, but you can pass it along to your children. So whenever you have two parents that have trait, you have a 25% chance that your child will actually get the disease, a 50% chance that your child will have sickle cell trait, and a 25% chance that your child will have working genes and their blood cells will be normal. So these are your percentage rates for every pregnancy. They never change. So each time that you have a partner with sickle cell trait and you have the trait yourself, you will have the same chance. Now, if you have a person that, if you are married with a person that doesn't have the trait at all, then your child will not have the disease. They may end up with the trait, and being able to pass it, but they will not have the disease itself. In my family, this is exactly how our whole family planned out. So my parents both have sickle cell trait. My brother has the disease. Me and my sister have the trait, and my other brother has normal red blood cells. So we are this exact example. So I mentioned the newborn screening. Before 1992, and this is on the newborn screening website, you did not know if you had sickle cell disease or not, which means that everyone before 1992 was not tested. So that's huge. With 100,000 Americans out there with sickle cell trait, you should really know, or sickle cell disease, I'm sorry, you should know whether you have that or not. Me getting married, I got married a year ago, and I had to have my husband tested for sickle cell trait because I had the trait, and I knew that I could pass the disease on to my child, and I did not. I wanted to know if that was a possibility or not. So that is one of the most important things. If you don't know if you have sickle cell trait or not, get tested. If your parents don't remember, get tested, because it's important. And it can affect not only your life, but your child's life and their future. So that is the most important thing that I want to leave you with today. Just to review, we taught you what sickle cell disease was. We went over the treatment, which was the folic acid and the antibiotics every day, and how it affects the person. You know, it's not easy living with sickle cell disease, but there are different adjustments that you can make in your life by taking your medicine every day diligently, and just being consistent with what you can do and what you can do, and just making everyone aware that you have that, and that it's something to be taken seriously. So I hope that you guys have learned something today, and thank you.
Thank you.